Hello and welcome to Breaking Bread with Rivaj Maharaj, where nothing is off the table. We've just had some breaking news come in, so this will be a short video on the current events in Iran, as there's been some dramatic changes in the status quo as we speak. The Iranian regime has now closed down their airspace. There are only two airplanes circling within the Iranian airspace as we speak. They're both Chinese domestic airplanes that have been granted permission. But other than that, the entire airspace above Iran has now officially been closed. Tracking site Flight Radar has just issued this notification saying that Iran has just issued a NOTAM that its airspace will be closed to all flights except international flights to and from the country that have permission. Once again, that's according to tracking site Flight Radar. A NOTAM, or Notice to Air Missions, is a time-sensitive alert for pilots about hazards and airspace conditions. Once again, this was issued by Flight Radar. We'll put up an image on the screen of the airspace above Iran as it's currently closed. There's also been reports of fighter jets being scrambled along the border with Iran and Iraq in the Basra region. Reports coming out of Iran, as there are some people who still have their Starlink receivers, are that there's large number of protesters on the streets. The numbers have grown quite a bit, and these are anti-government protesters. There's also been news that the United Kingdom had closed their embassy in Tehran, had begun evacuating their personnel, and the Iranians don't seem to be too happy with that. Iran has scrambled fighter jets. I think they're the MiGs that the Iranian regime does possess, and apparently from people I'm speaking to who are on the ground in Israel, the Israelis are getting their bunkers ready, and the Israeli government has begun moving missiles and deploying them to various parts of the country, anticipating an Iranian strike in the event of an attack on Iran. Senator Lindsey Graham seems to have had a one-on-one with Reza Pahlavi, and similar to the ones that he's done in the past with Zelensky. And I have to say, I'm still not convinced that this man would be a uniting force within Iran. He just doesn't have the charisma or the, he's just not, he just doesn't have that leadership quality, that enthusiasm.
Senator Lindsey Graham here with the Crown Prince of Iran. I have followed you, your passion, the way you articulate the hope of your people. It will be up to the people of Iran to pick their next leader. I can't wait till they have a chance to do that. But you are really risen to the occasion, compelling narrative for the long-suffering people of Iran. And I believe with all my heart that help is on the way.
Senator, thank you so much for all your words of support for my compatriots in the darkest time in our history, but hopefully, as we say in Iran, in Farsi, the end of the dark night is light, and this is probably the first time we are so close to victory. You've witnessed the resilience of my compatriots. They are fighting a brave fight, and any solidarity can only help them achieve that goal sooner. I've been committed to this all my life, to serve my nation, and hopefully, as the Senator just said, we hope that the Iranian people will this time have complete freedom, and the choice will be theirs. We are here to serve them, to make that choice in freedom, and that's why my commitment. And thank you for your support, Senator.
Thank you. And President Trump, thank you for picking the people over the Ayatollah. You're the first one to do that. thank you for acknowledging that the only way you can make Iran great again is for the protesters to win over the regime. And I believe that day is at hand. And to the American people, it matters to us. This is the largest state sponsor of terrorism on the planet. They have American blood on their hands. And the people protesting in the streets could be our best friends. God bless them.
God bless the United States of America and the American friends, and God bless the Iranian people.
The United States have also redeployed a carrier group from the South China Sea and they're heading towards Iran. I still must reiterate that let's look at a worst case scenario. The Americans do launch an attack on Iran, couple that with the assistance from the Israelis. I'm really skeptical about any intervention, at least militarily, by or from the Russians and the Chinese. And the reason I say this is I pivot back to Syria and one of my other videos where I mentioned that when Jolani and his group descended upon Damascus, they were unchallenged. And I believe that that's because the Iranians and the Russians did a deal, and they allowed the Americans and the Turks to take Syria. So I think, but also why they wouldn't get involved is because if China, and Russia had to become militarily involved with the United States in Iran, then that would definitely lead to the onset of a full-blown Third World War. I think if a deal hasn't been done for the capitulation of Iran via back-channeling, then the other alternative is that the Chinese and the Russians via proxies will attack the Americans in other regions and other parts of the world where in other conflict zones, because then it's not an all-out overt hot war by way of them facing off directly. Probably a similar situation to what's going on in Ukraine, or what used to happen during the old days of the Cold War when the Soviet Union was the contender to the United States. So that is currently the situation as it stands regarding the crisis in Iran. We'll keep you updated as things progress. Please do like, share, and subscribe, as it helps our channel with the algorithm and it helps us to grow. Once again, thank you very much and goodbye. See you in the next episode.